Governor Christie, a recent sighting at the Dallas Cowboys game has sparked an investigation on both ethics and government spending. But today we're going to talk about possibly the biggest misstep of the day. Welcome to High Five Training.
High five? I mean, come on, I can do a high five.
Okay, so you were with Jerry Jones during the Cowboys playoff win. What's an appropriate celebration like for you?
High 10.
High 10? This isn't an 80s buddy cop movie.
Big deal. Jerry leaves me hanging. I'm a man. I move on.
You're right, you did move on. What you did is you jumped into a two-man hug that you had no business being a part of.
Well, I didn't know what to do. I mean, Jerry's my celebration buddy, and then his son comes in out of nowhere and steals him from me.
Okay, so you screw up twice on national television. What do you do next?
Well, like any respectable politician, I went in for a classy motorboat. What? I learned it on the box score.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Today, the boss gave his take on Curt Schilling's comments on why he didn't make it into the Hall. Seton, what do you think the biggest reason is that Schilling won't be in this year's class?
I think it's obvious. It's the bloody sock, well, the alleged bloody sock. I don't believe for a minute that that bloody sock was real, and I think it turns out that most of the MLB media or voting media for the Hall of Fame confirmed that. So. I don't know. I mean, is there any other reason you guys
think that's got to be pretty much it.
You know, I'll stick by you. There's almost no facts to back that up, but we don't let that stand in our way.
As it shouldn't. Schilling always shakes things up with his comments, as did former quarterback for Arizona, Kurt Warner, when the boss asked him if he actually considered coming back to play for the Cardinals.
I actually spent a lot of time talking to my family about it and contemplating it, just from the standpoint, if they reached out, would I at least take the first step to see if there was a possibility? I mean, I continue to say that I think it's arrogant to think that I could have stepped off of the couch and gone into the NFL and played at a playoff caliber level after a couple weeks.
Did they reach out to you?
No, I actually talked to Coach Arians and Steve Kine just in passing when I was at the Thursday night game when Drew Stanton went down, and more jokingly, they're like, well, it might be time for you to start loosening up and suit up.
Such a wild story in the fact that there's no interest at all by the Cardinals, but that doesn't stop Kurt Warner from having numerous conversations, according to him, with his family about the possibility of coming back. And that's got to be weird, though. He's got to have such, not confidence in himself, but lack of confidence in the quarterbacks that are going in. He's like, man, I think I'm about to get a call here. And he actually pulls his family aside to talk about it. And the fact that the Cardinals never entertained it for a second, at least according to Kurt, I don't know if Kurt looks great in this story or looks bad in this story. I guess from moment to moment, both.
McLovin, do you think the Cardinals would have won if he was at the helm on Saturday?
They would have done better. I can almost guarantee that. They had the worst offensive performance in postseason history.
So he could have been worse than the worst offense.
I know. He really couldn't. I mean, Lindley threw for next to nothing. I think Kurt Warner, the former Seattle Seahawks running back, could have had a better game than Ryan Lindley.
But think if Warner put up that same performance. I mean, just how damaging that is to ultimately his legacy. That would have been. That's like worst case scenario. Is that if I really don't believe for a second that if Kurt Warner got out there, he would have performed well.
You really? You think
not for 1 second do I believe that. No.
I don't think no matter how good a shape you're in, I think there's a difference between football shape. I don't know how good a shape Kurt Warner is full time.
How many people on that team has he actually played with?
Larry Fitzgerald.
I would have loved to have seen it. I thought it was funny that Dan suggested that should he bad mouth on NFL Network. What been in his analysis? Should he totally bad mouth Lindley?
You don't really need to do that. That was actually would have been redundant.
I guess we should call.
You're right though. I don't know what would have happened there. I assume it would have gone poorly because he's old and doesn't play football anymore. That's usually a bad combination for a starting playoff quarterback, right? I mean,
makes for a great movie scenario. But in real life, it's actually...
If it's Dennis Quaid, he's thrown for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, this is a superb breakdown of what would have happened with Kurt Warner, and I think that's what McLovin intended to do when he went into the box today.
That's interesting breaking news. It was interesting. Sorry. I'm actually dying right now. Dan!
What happened?
I kind of need a Heimlich, I think. I went in there and I just...
You all right?
Oh, seriously?
I was kind of hoping Dan would do it, actually. I got in there and something got in my throat and I just couldn't speak anymore.
Are you okay now?
Did you
I'm
just
okay.
cough your way through a box appearance?
I got 3 words out. I was going to
great.
say something about Kurt Warner, and then it just went away.
What a bizarre group of individuals we are. He came out, he's just like, yeah, I was just coughing and choking in the back. We're like, oh, that's so great. I can't wait to see this. Like,
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm glad you made it out alive, though, Andrew. I guess. I mean,
think everyone
I'm glad
was.
you're alive, but I wish that I could have seen you nearly dying on TV in that moment.
I'd like
Truth be told.
to address a conspiracy theory, though. There are people who think that I had nothing to say, and therefore
Or you
went
lost your train of
straight-
thought or something.
What?
Yeah. I have to
do you do?
admit, I wasn't content-rich headed into the box. I didn't
I pretend I'm
have a
choking?
script.
But faking death to get out of a box appearance seems like a stretch.
Seems like a stretch. Would I do
A
it?
little dramatic and bail out early to pretend that you're dying of something stuck in your throat.
Oh, instead I could just sit and talk around in circles for 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
Well,
that's a
Paulie,
shot
what
at
is
me.
the protocol? Paulie, what is the protocol if a Danette dies on air?
Well, first of all, if a Danette dies on air, he gets MVD because he did it on air. If any of us died off air, I'd be supremely disappointed.
Maybe we should just make the call right now that if somebody dies on air, it will then be known as the Andrew McLovin Perloff Most Valuable Danette Award.
Sure, whoever it is.
Okay.
Whoever it is.
Can we call that?
That
Yeah.
seems
There's no doubt.
Or Fritzy, you, me. whoever.
I always say, like when the guys tell me something off air, let's say Seaton says, oh, this happened to me last night, but don't say it on the air. I've told Seaton and everyone here, you have to tell me twice.
Yeah.
The first time is like the courtesy, don't tell me on air. That means I'm going to tell it. And then the second time, it's the same thing with like choking. I'm joking. All right, cool. Get the cameraman in here. Make sure we got a good. Can you get in the light so they can
Is
get a
his
shot
mic
of
on?
it?
Is his
Yeah,
mic
is your
on?
mic on? You know, but if you say, really choking, you gotta like do some type of motion that says I'm really choking.
What if you're just choking like you're just choking? Like like choking, like not like literal choking.
Fritzy, how's that
You're
work?
choking.
Oh, nice. So you're trying like with a bad mock headline or just want to make bad jokes or puns?
What are you supposed to do? Like, in all seriousness, what do you do in the box when you lose your train of thought or you just have nothing to say? We've all been there. Yeah.
Wow, this is awful. I really don't have anything to say. I'm just gonna get
Probably
out of here.
How often do you say
Respect
that?
the honesty.
Almost every time I'm in there, I'm like, I don't.
The audience
I'm just gonna go
respects
back.
the honesty.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
if
like
you
our
can't
big
think of
time
anything
in this
smart to say,
spotlight.
maybe go ahead and spin a basketball and let this little gem happen to you.
But if I do play, it's going to be magic.
Why don't you do that, McLovin? Maybe that could be your thing. Like, you
No, because this costs $375 for this backup pair of optical
other
glasses.
people's.
Yeah, if you want to pay for the glasses every time, I'll do that.
But no. Let's say you go to the box and you're thinking on your way to the box, I got nothing. Just say, hey, LA, roll it. And then they just roll the gold.
Because usually LA is already in the process of rolling it. It's wasting my breath to say roll it. Yeah, no, it's
roll the gold.
Many memories, all bad.
All right. Well, thank you for breaking your $400 glasses. Stick around. Urban Meyer talks about his dad working with someone who ain't nothing but a hound dog. Oh, Fat Elvis.
What's your relationship with Bill Belichick?
Oh, it's great. We always get to either go to dinner together and hang out, and I usually go up to...
Yeah, well,
the Patriots don't like anyone talking about Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Urban sounded really excited to talk to you, too. He was in a great mood, ready to go.
Now he can't be happy after this, after Fritzy somehow
disconnected the
yeah.
phone.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Well, it happened again. Another guest phone line dropped, and the boss blames Fritzy. Fritzy, but a quick recovery. You think you'll ever get justice when it comes to this?
Not really. If it's just, I can get him back at like 0.0001 seconds. It still will feel like an eternity. I'm not sure what happened there. No excuses. I'm thinking it was on their end because everything worked out fine before and after that call. So whoever fault it was, the best thing you can do is try to keep things flowing and get the guest back on as quickly as possible.
Well, you know what was interesting is when we got Urban back on, Dan said, "Hey, sorry about that, Urban." He said, "Oh yeah, that's okay." Like it was our fault, like it wasn't his cell phone that dropped out. And I was kind of like, wait a minute, why did Dan just throw us under the bus? We didn't do anything wrong. It was his phone that cracked out.
Urban blaming.
Yeah, Coach had no problem saying,
oh, yeah, no problem.
That's his way of saying you guys should get your
I
act together. But
understand,
that's all
don't
right.
worry.
I took a time out of my day right before the
No
championship.
apologies needed, DP.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully you got the Buckeyes head coach back on because he told a story about his dad actually working with Elvis in the Army.
He was already starting to hit it big, and my dad's a tough guy. Was a tough guy. I lost him, and he would. That was to be his opportunity to dive into him a little bit.
So he would rough up Elvis a little bit just because.
I don't want to say that and then find out it wasn't. He would often talk about how he got what's the word I'm looking for? Humbled.
How tough was your dad in the military?
Oh, he's a tough guy about everything he did. So I can only imagine.
So he probably looked at Elvis as this pretty boy star coming over here, kind of going through the motions here, and I'm going to teach you something or two.
And he's doing push-ups in the dirt like everybody else.
Again, I love that banter. It's not the kind of thing you're going to get from anyone else. First of all, Coach Meyer doesn't do a whole lot of interviews, certainly not a few days before the national title game, but he happens to like the show, and in particular Dan, and just listening to stories that you would never think you would hear about some type of relationship between Urban Meyer's dad and Elvis is far more entertaining than breaking down Marcus Mariota and what they're planning on doing Monday night in Dallas in the title game. So I always look forward to that, and I had no idea, even though we were playing with that in the poll question, that somehow Urban Meyer and Elvis Presley and his choice of music was going to get tied in together.
Solid booking by you. The box score salutes you, Fritzy. Well, today's poll question was actually inspired by what would have been Elvis's 80th birthday today. And Paulie, you were so fired up, you ran out and got some peanut butter and banana sandwiches. And you and Dan and Seton all were nibbling away at one of these things. And then Fritzy was chewing on one himself. And McLovin, you thought about it, but instead you chose to have a piece of bacon. Did that actually fill you up?
Yeah, I'm totally good. That was lunch. I was very cognizant of that move right there. I'm like, are there people going to react to me just taking one little half piece of bacon that fell out of the sandwich?
Interesting.
Well, the I-team
People
went
are
back
generally pro-bacon.
the I-team went back and investigated that actual piece of bacon you ate. And I don't know if this adheres to rabbinical law,
bacon?
but Fritzy actually dropped that piece of bacon, picked it up, and put it back in the tin
No.
foil. I mean, Fritzy, why didn't you throw that away?
I threw it in my tin foil that the sandwich came in, and what I meant to do was crumple it up into a little.
Wait, so you're saying, hold on.
I'm hoping that's
Fritzy, I'm not going to let you get away with anything. You meant to crumple up in a piece of paper, and you accidentally put it in the tin?
No, I picked up the piece of bacon, then I wanted to go back to my desk because I think we were getting ready to go back on, so I just kind of put it in the foil.
Not kind of.
No, I did put it in the foil, but I didn't think anyone was gonna, pick at this little piece of bacon. And I certainly didn't have time to put a note saying, "Don't eat this."
Well, not a note, but how about the garbage?
I probably should have thrown it in the garbage, but I was in a rush to go back to my notebook.
You were in
and
a
my
big rush?
For me, that's how you walk back.
Can we watch the rushing Fritzy heading back to work?
The rush as you're eating?
It didn't dawn on me that it was a pretty small piece of bacon. I picked it up and I thought about the 3-second rule for a moment, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat it.
That's for yourself, not
but I didn't put it there hoping that someone would eat a piece of bacon.
I know about the 5-second rule, 3-second rule. What's he completely ignorant that it was on the floor rule? Am I okay with floor bacon?
Now here's the thing, McLovin. Are you a person who would, like, if you dropped a piece of bacon on the floor, would you not eat it?
Oh, I'd eat it in a second.
Okay, good. So you aren't really that bothered.
No, I'm not real bad. I have no problem with floor.
Fritzy handled your bacon, though.
That's not good.
Is that definitely the same piece that I had put in the foil? I apologize if that was the same exact.
If you were offended by it.
I don't know how big was the piece that was on the floor.
It was like this. It was like this. It was like a little teeny piece, and I put it in the corner on the foil there, planning on throwing it out when I got a chance to.
You plan on throwing it out later?
I actually did. I always throw out my garbage. That's one thing. Say what you want.
You're lying to yourself.
I always throw out garbage. I don't leave garbage.
Jump in.
Come on, I planned on throwing it out at a later date when I had more time, instead of going 5 feet that way, which would have taken
at that moment I probably
maximum of 2 to 3 steps.
You can honestly say that I didn't think 1 second about that piece of bacon. I just put it back down there.
My main goal was to pick it up off the floor.
What were your secondary goals?
And then there was just a little piece of foil there, and I kind of looked at that as garbage. It was just a little. No one's going to go to a little.
Now there's
little piece of bacon off the floor.
Now, if you notice, there was an entire uneaten half sandwich on that piece of tinfoil, and then you put floor bacon on next to it.
I thought it was.
That was not your foil because there was a full sandwich there.
I thought I had put the bacon down on a separate piece of foil.
So you were confused.
Right. I thought I put it where I took the half a sandwich of bacon, peanut butter, banana, and the piece of bacon that fell, I put what I thought was on the foil where it was now empty, where I had removed that half a sandwich. So the only thing that was on there was this little piece of bacon. I didn't.
So it's not just you made a mistake.
No, I'm not going to take responsibility for that.
Andrew, you actually haven't had a stomach bug. Fritzy's just been dropping off your food on the floor.
Been smearing it on the...
and not thinking
anything of it, and now it's finally caught up to you.
Smearing it all over the corner.
Do you have like a list of garbage that you're planning to throw out later? Like you keep it on the desk, like a pile, a to-do list. Throw this out as like a banana peel.
Main goals, secondary goals. Drop food, pick it up. Secondary.
I'll throw this out in hour 3. Not right now.
I do think it's funny that after eating a drop piece of bacon, you are in such a rush to get back to your desk, but you can go to the bathroom for 11 minutes during a 4-minute break.
It's funny how I play with the time like that, but it was not my intention for anyone to actually pick that little piece of bacon off the foil and actually eat it. So.
Good job, well done.
Yeah, well done. Great teamwork on lunch there, guys. We'll see if you can carry that over to the next segment where we have a little Know Your Row, first edition of 2015. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History.
Whoa. Enough of this.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. We are back here in the Box Score. That's Fritzy going Carry Nation on that partition that McLovin put up on the desk when they weren't getting along. Fritzy, what is it that you envision when you swing that hard?
I was just in a fit of rage, obviously. Yeah. I was thinking of all the horrible things that have been, that have been victimized by over the
it's like a bat.
years.
Look at that aggression.
People cheating off me on exams and in junior high school. It was time to let out the anguish.
What is it, falling down? Is that the Michael Doug? This is like falling down too. It's like a guy just
officially snapped.
Falling down light.
Well, McLovin might want to put that partition back up, but what if you guys were actually college roommates? Who would you choose? Let's be random. Let's have fun. Let's play.
Know Your Row!
Let's start in the back row. McLovin, who would Fritzy rather have as a college roommate?
Well, I'm going to assume it's me, because I think I'm the only person that Fritzy considers nice in the studio. It's that simple.
Okay. Is it McLovin?
Yes.
I am going to go with Seton O'Connor. He's a lot of fun. He's got a wild side to him. I know he's got my back. He's got that anger thing going, so in case I get in a fight or something breaks out, he can, he's got, those mood swings, but in a good way. He would get into a rage and have my back if we had a throwdown, and I think we'd party nicely together. Yeah, I honestly I wasn't sure who I picked. That I was initially going to think McLovin, but I thought that'd be too easy.
Anger thing going.
Because he's sitting next to me. But
this is a guy.
I know Seton. I know Seton could be a lot of fun, and I actually meant that in a positive way. If that didn't come out as such.
Anger thing going.
If I get into any kind of trouble, I can.
You'd have to live at Fritzy's parents' house.
Not that Seton's not a good fighter or anything, but I don't think of him as my bodyguard.
I'm tough.
Among this group, there's not a lot to choose from.
You would have to have a tarp across your sleeping area to make sure you don't get taken down.
Seton's very passionate about things, and if I needed his back, I know he would.
Nice shout out. Front row, Seton. Who's Paul Pabst sharing a dorm room with?
Boy, is this an interesting question. It's definitely not Todd Fritz, I can tell you that. I'm going to say Andrew McLovin Perloff.
Was it Andrew McLovin Perloff?
Oh my God, Danette, who wanted to be my college roommate, it'd be Seton for sure. I mean, let's not kid each other. I was pounding during college. I mean, he was going toe to toe with some of the biggest drinkers in SIU history. And Fritzy, come on, it's not close. McLovin, I heard he was powerful back in the day, but I need to see evidence.
Yeah, I mean, this is more about scheduling and lifestyle than personality.
Both waking up at noon.
Right. I assume that Seton's going to go to bed around 2 a.m.-ish every night. There's going to be a lot of beer.
On school nights, I did.
There's going to be, most of our funds will be spent on... 4. Oh, school nights, 4 on the weekends. I assume neither of us are going to go to class. Weekends are going to be spent just working off a hangover and then
It almost sounds like you were my roommate.
I know. I mean, let's not kid each other. I got C's for a reason.
Back to the back row. Fritzy, who would McLovin mind living with the least at Dartmouth?
I think that McLovin would pick...
Most or least?
Yeah, did you say least?
Well, who would he want as his roommate at Dartmouth?
I think he would pick Seton for similar reasons that I chose.
Pearl.
I'm going to go.
Rageaholic.
I'm going to go Seton O'Connor.
He wants to fight with somebody.
All right, was it Seton O'Connor?
For a year.
I'm going to go with Paulie out of process of elimination. Fritzy, for obvious reasons, you would not want to be your college roommate. Basically, I don't even want to know what that place would look like with the blue light. Seton, I assume, would burn your bed down one night, as is the, habit in West Virginia. So that leaves Paulie.
Yeah. I don't think anyone here could argue with any of those.
very
all
valid,
accurate. Valid concerns.
I was super cool in college, though. Paul, you should have picked me. I played a ton of Tecmo Bowl. Like a ton.
Yeah. And
But you might have played Tecmo
Here's
too.
the thing, though. I don't know Pearl. If I had gotten a taste of Pearl, if you guys don't know Pearl, Pearl was a legend in the Dartmouth community. I know what Seton was all about in college. I saw a little of the remnants of it at the ESPN days. I never saw Pearl. Now, McLovin, even not drinking, can still, he'll run, he'll go.
Yeah.
He'll go late night. So the days of, he's got a point. Pearl would have been top 2 easy.
Why would the Dartmouth, the land of vomlets and we party, dude. Did you ever see Animal House? That was basically my life.
All right, front row, if you can pull this off, this would be for the win. Paulie, which Danette would Seton love to have killer dorm parties with?
I'm too much of a pain in the ass to have as a roommate. I would be tough. I mean, I was a lot more casual back then, but I think he's gonna take McLovin because he knows the Pearl history. Fritzy, either way, I'm gonna make the call, McLovin.
Was it McLovin?
Modern day, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Andrew. Andrew McLovin Perloff. I think back in college, I think he was quite a handful and partied a little bit. And I don't know, he just seems kind of fun in a goofy way.
Yeah, I think the myth of Pearl is a little too alluring, or like the legend, maybe, not the myth, the legend of Pearl. There's a certain fascination there that I think we all have, that it's tough to not want to just go, dive headfirst into that little bit of a...
You guys sure you could handle that, though? I would drink.
You know what?
Yeah.
But I want it. If I died trying, I would be okay with it.
You're okay with me drinking all your booze and stealing your girlfriend? If that's what you want,
No,
that's
but
what you
could
get.
also, schoolwork, you'd be great to help with on papers and projects and things like that.
I mean, I kind of did. I drank a lot of beer. I played a lot of video games. That's a good time. I could go back to doing that again. That's cool. But there's something like, what exactly is going to go on with
You know why no one wanted to live with Todd? Because none of us wanted to live with Todd's mom's house.
That's
we don't want to live in an apartment.
It'd be great to have breakfast made for you.
No, I went to NYU and I commuted. I didn't have the dorm living away from home life, so they would actually have to be living in my parents' apartment in Brooklyn, and that can't be.
Miss Fritz, more eggs.
It's just not good.
Miss Fritz, meatloaf.
No privacy.
Get us a meatloaf.
Wow, that's right. You're the only one who didn't get taken.
Rubbing up against the Heather Thomas poster on the wall because you can't really bring any women back to the parents' house.
Good times.
Yeah, I don't know why Steve would have to break up fights at your house.
Splinters.
Congratulations
Painful
to the front
splinters.
row. You win Know Your Row, first edition of 2015. Please stay with us. We're going to close up shop with just a few more laughs. We're closing up shop here on the Box Score. The DP Show covered a wide range of topics today, including the antics of our favorite Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, as he was out there getting his juke on last night. See, you couldn't help yourself. You got right in there and started doing the Ballmer groove. Is he becoming your new favorite person to imitate?
Good camera.
Easily my favorite thing to do right there is anything Steve Ballmer does. That dude is I'm kind of fascinated, kind of terrified by it all, to be honest with you. But man, I'm so happy that he bought the Clippers.
Just be careful. If you offend him, he's going to buy DirecTV and fire you tomorrow.
Yeah. That would be
Hopefully it's a sense of humor.
That would be unfortunate. He's clearly got a sense of humor, right?
It's a great impersonation.
McLovin, whose imitation
I mean, you can see him
better?
actually, he was doing his thing and looking up to the singing.
McLovin, whose imitation is better? Is it Seton's Ballmer or is it Fritzy's Rocky, Mickey from Rocky?
God, I don't really remember. You do.
I rarely do that. I'm very shy about that. I don't like to do the whole Mick thing.
Well, what lines from that? Like, do you?
Well, what are we waiting for? You can't win.
Only been
milk that cow again, huh?
less than 48 hours.
I would take Seton. I laugh every time Seton starts going crazy and hopping around and swinging his arms and doing the bomber lunatic thing. I think it's good stuff.
He is solid at that. Fritzy, you're very solid. I watched Rocky 2 yesterday, saying, so can you please give me a little mick for who's on tomorrow?
We're going to talk to Rodney Harrison of NBC Football Night in America to break down the 4 divisional playoff games. Joey Harrington, former Oregon quarterback, to preview the national title game at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. The Ducks and the Blocks Kid. Joey Harrington, Rodney Harrison.
I ain't going back to Southpaw. No tricks, no tricks. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching The Box Score. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on Audience Channel 239. If you're on the go, the podcast is available at iTunes or at podcast1.com. Yarr!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey! Thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!